Howdy ho, guys and gals and whoever you are. This time it's another vinyl review. Got this from Ván Records. Ván Records. Are they really driving a van here? No, jokes aside, this time I have a German band with the debut album, which is out through Ván Records. This is how it looks before we unbox it. So let's start with the vinyl. The label was kind enough to provide me with some nice quality work, minus the dust coming from my vinyl player, despite having the cover closed, usually, most of the time anyway. Anyhow, this is the LP version of the album. I will quickly show you with the covers and all, and then we'll explain what the music is like. Omega Swarm, the Omega Swarm, starting with the nice looking logo, the Omega symbol, and then the name, nice laid out. Very red cover, Crimson Demise, giving you a little bit of honest feeling about this LP. As you can see, this beautiful package is a gatefold, having some serious characters here portrayed for you. We are the Cascade in the distance, appearing at mankind's dawn for a future foregone. We are the Omega Swarm. That is indeed quite honest. Alright, let's not that put us down, but go for the ingredients. Nothing is here anymore, mind you. The vinyl removed. Then we have a poster, which is always something special compared to whatever digital or even tape and CD versions you might have out there. I mean, compared to the tiny stamp-sized pictures which you're looking at when you're streaming the music from your smart devices, when you put the vinyl in question out there, you have this beautiful art really laid out for you. And mind you, these are small details which you cannot even see when you're just taking a look at the stamps. Quickly looking, giving a little bit of a quick glance, you just see all red, but when you take a look, okay, there are ruins here, some fine details, there's some weird creatures, stones, menhirs maybe, a barren land. All these graphical stunning detail or amount of details come into play when you have it in size like this. So inside you will find lyrics, very important part for those who are really fans of the band. Then you will have another set of the photos, some liner notes, mind you, and more lyrics, obviously. So all in all, nice looking package. Cannot really underline that too much, because we all know that full experience is way more than just the frequencies known as music being played. But obviously music first. So what are we really talking about when we're talking about the Omega Swarm and Crimson Demise? Very young band still, 2022. As you can see, I still actually voted here something on the similar artists tab, which is not there yet. But if you want to know what I voted, I would say this is roughly going to the direction of Behemoth. Different, but there are similarities. Quite a few, but also parts where it doesn't really sound Behemoth at all. I'll explain if you don't mind. So Crimson Demise is a very standard album in the sense it's between the 40-45 minutes territory, 7 tracks, little bit on the lengthier side, but nothing outstanding. I mean, we're still talking about mostly less than 6 minutes. Well, mostly a couple of songs past 6-minute marks, but less than 7 all the way through. And so pretty much between 5-6 minutes, give or take. So what we had throughout 7 tracks is, I think this is for once pretty accurate when Metal Archives has listed this as atmospheric black death metal. I'll just put this cover art here while I tell you the truth, because it looks way better. So the music is definitely incorporating elements from death metal, check, and also black metal, check. But what is left between is not something that these very simple 3 lines, or 3 lines, 3 words, more like 5 words, don't describe. Is it's actually death metal from the classic sense, maybe more on the atmospheric or epic sense, thinking of like Nile. So not really that old school fashion. And then this black metal coming from the Behemoth school of ways of doing that, especially the later year studies. But what is not being mentioned is that some of the parts are actually more like melodic death metal. There are parts where it gets really, really melodic, and it's not like a bad thing. Just saying out loud that when you have one corner, thinking like a triangle here, I'm trying to explain it to you. Here we have the more epic death metal. Once again, a little bit towards Nile, or actually the parts where Behemoth were when they were doing mostly death metal, before going death black once again. And then you have these Behemoth-like, or reminder of, once again, quite symphonic almost, but not there yet fully. And then you have these elements which are more like quality melodic death metal. Think about the 90s, but with nowadays production and all. And that's where the triangle makes sense. So if you think it like a bunch of bands doing death black kind of stuff, which are not sometimes but often war metal, and sometimes they're just totally different, and then you're like, okay, but this doesn't really sound like that. And that's why I think the atmospheric death black is very, very true, because it's kind of describes all these ingredients but leaves some words out of it, which are key essential part here, once again describing the music. So more on the melodic side of things, or melodeath, put together with growly vocals from death metal, raspy vocals from black metal, and certain riffs which could coming from either camp. I mean, think about lots of those melodic or melodeath riffs from the 90s. A lot of them are more like what you would think of when mentioning Dissection. So they're quite between, like, okay, you kind of have these melodic death metal riffs, but you have the kind of a black metal vocals. So why are you calling melodeath and not just melodic black metal? I know I'm rambling here, but these are very, very important for people to understand. Like, when I'm talking about melodic death metal in this context, it doesn't mean it's sounding like Hypocrisy or Ball Thrower or what. And now people are like, Ball Thrower, melodic death metal, what are you fucking talking about? I'm talking about the For Victory era. Super melodic because of the growly vocals and certain riffs and all that stuff. Then you're like, okay, I get you what you mean. And if you don't, well, can't really help you. Then again, like saying that would be melodic death metal only would be a little bit misleading, because there are those parts where the kind of a black metal kicks in. And that's when you get more on the lane of whatever Behemoth has been doing for many, many years, but not back in the days when they started or when they moved on for the more modern, death metal territory. Comparing this to the old school names, be it like Morbid Angels and the like, would be totally misleading. But coming to the territory where it's Nile, just with less technicalities, and then you probably start figuring out which box you could fit this one in and which ones you wouldn't. Now, coming with this kind of a bag of mixed goodies can be a two-edged sword. For some people, it's like too many different styles in one go. And I get it. It's not for everybody. That's kind of a given. This is kind of acquired taste. But those who can like all these different styles and don't mind the lane shifting. I'm using a road metaphor here, because if you go really much on the, say, right side of things, and you're like, okay, this is the black metal territory. Then you go a little bit on the middle, and you're like, okay, melodic death metal. And then you go, once again, one more time left, and you're like, going with all that modern atmospheric death metal thing. Now, when combined, this becomes one road, just with various lanes here, and this is where the band actually shifts nicely. Some of the melodies are really, really catchy, and they could really just, take more benefit coming from that territory. But then again, it might be too much of a one-trick pony. So I'm guessing what the audience is looking for here is, or more like what kind of audience the band is looking for is, you have to be ready to get this diverse type of extreme metal. It doesn't really go any of these given styles just for many, many minutes at once. It's more like changing the style every now and then. And like I said, some people have like too much. Some people are, I'm loving it. It's great because they have it. And on top of that, they used a variety of different vocals quite nicely too. So it benefits those who are really cool with the growly parts and the more, say, screamy or raspy ones, whatever you want to call them. And for the production sense, that is actually one of the better things on this album, because the sound is supporting all of these given styles, micro styles, if you will. So unlike some albums which are more like death metal played with black metal production, not that fitting, or black metal albums played with death metal fitting, maybe better than the other way around, but not exactly what you're looking for. This is able to handle them all. So yes, it's kind of a more on the polished side of things, very, very nicely detailed, powerful enough, giving a lot of room for all the details, whether we're talking more melodic riffs or more harsher style. But it's actually supporting the music very, very well. Now, if I get to bit something about the band's style is like maybe they could have let some ideas to be honed and polished throughout the demo phase. Now the story doesn't tell if there were demos before the 2022, between the 2022 founding the band and creating Crimson Demise, but it feels at certain points like a little bit hurried. I don't know if that's a big problem here, because obviously these guys are experienced. They have the other bands, which is why they probably sound so well finished with this album. But I would say this album would have benefited of a little of a breathers here and there, or less some elements. But these are obviously matters of taste, so react to my opinions the way you want. My opinions don't make shit. If you really, really like the album, I'm here just to give you a pointers what to look for and to which kind of audience this might be intended or targeted towards. But obviously you decide for yourself. Links are provided in the description box, so you start clicking and listening the band right away, even without watching the fucking review, man. But I'm just pointing out what there is in the box, the art, the overall feeling, and giving you a little bit of ideas what the genres are made of, or what is the combination of genres more like. So I don't know if you think you are for the acquired taste of thing, blending together all these mixed bag of goodies, give Omega Swarm a go. And I would say, indeed, with the given art and the given boxing and all, if you really like it, go for this vinyl. It's beautiful, beautiful in your collection, beautiful on your wall, whatever you want to do it with it. But then again, if you are just like, I'm not really a fan, but I like to give it a little bit list and then go with the digital format. It's up to you, of course, but at least give these guys a chance. They're doing something, and I'm expecting them to come back even better with the coming albums, because this is a starting point, and the next ideas, I'm guessing, will be even more powerful. With these words, off you go and start listening. Enjoy.